Why is Sam Shamoun so angry? In fact, why do many Trinitarians get angry when you expose their doctrine for being the idolatrous fraud that it is? Well, that's because when you stake your whole life, your whole ministry on a falsehood, when that falsehood is put in question, and yet you know that falsehood that you stand on doesn't have a lot of backing, the natural reaction is to express hostility, to express anger. It's just like when you have a root canal. If there was no medication there, you're going to scream, you're going to get probably even just this anger in you because of the pain you're feeling. And that is a lot of times when these Trinitarians, when their idol is attacked, they have no leg to stand on. They know this. They know that there's nothing in the Bible that remotely supports their doctrine. Now, there are a few verses that do seem to support a pre-existence if you don't understand the Old Testament, if you don't understand the concept of context. But even with that, that is nowhere close to being the Trinity. Because there's many Christians that believe in the pre-existence of Christ, yet they don't believe in the Trinity. Because the Trinity is a very precise, specific doctrine that only one that would engage in metaphysics and philosophy can come up with, that you couldn't come up with it just from reading the Bible. So Sam Shamoun is this person that continually debates. He loves debating. Romans chapter 1 applies to him. And his vociferous attacks on non-Trinitarians and even Muslims alike, because he's hiding something. He knows deep down inside that the Trinity doctrine doesn't have a leg to stand on scripturally. Now they have to go to the church fathers, and even then you can't go until you get later on, post-Nicene, to prove that doctrine. But the real reason Sam Shamoun is angry, the real reason that even many of his Trinitarian colleagues get this ravenous type of anger when you expose their doctrine for what it is, it's a philosophical idol. What they don't understand is that people are waking up. The Trinity is dead, my friends. People are waking up to this blasphemous doctrine. Even Christians that go to Trinitarian churches, many of them will say, well, yeah, that makes sense. I've never really understood it, don't believe it. If you can't take your doctrine about who God is, who Jesus is, to someone on the streets, and if you can't tell them and then them at least have a basic understanding, then you have a problem. Because who Jesus is, who God is central to the gospel. And a Trinitarian can't go out and preach the Trinity to the unbelieving world. Because even those in the church don't understand it. And people are waking up. More and more Christians than ever are rejecting the Trinity. The churches of Trinitarian world are decreasing in number for a myriad of reasons, not just because of the Trinity, but for a myriad of reasons. And as they leave the Trinitarian churches, they then will be comfortable to accept the truth of who God is, who Jesus is. The Trinity is dead, friends. They can no longer dominate the masses the way they used to in the Dark Ages, where they put you on the stake if you didn't believe in that blasphemous, monstrous doctrine. They couldn't, as they did in the early Pilgrim times or Puritan times, whip you and then put you in jail and even kill you for blaspheming the Holy Trinity. This is why you see the anger in people like Sam Shamoun, the defensiveness of a James White, and even an over-exuberant type of defense of the Trinity by an Anthony Rogers and David Woods, because of the fact they know their doctrine is dead. the spell of the Trinity no longer holds Christians captive, because when you are raised in the church and you believe in this doctrine is everything to you. It's the foundation of your faith, yet you may not even understand it. And to come out of that to question it is to question your own salvation. But the good thing is that in this age of the internet, in this age of research being available to your average everyday Christian, and not just excluded to scholars, people don't have that fear anymore. Because they know now that they can reach out to people and still have fellowship. They know now that even if their pastor kicks them out because they deny the Trinity, they will have fellowship. They just got to go online and look for it, and you'll find plenty of Christians that don't believe in that blasphemous doctrine. And even though I'm not a Jehovah's Witness, and I don't believe what they believe, because I don't believe Jesus was Michael the Archangel, I don't believe in the literal pre-existence of Christ, I believe his beginning was in the womb of Mary, I believe God has used the Jehovah's Witnesses to keep the Trinitarians in check. And he's also using the Muslims to keep the Trinitarians in check. Because the Trinity, my friends, is an idolatrous doctrine. And because he doesn't have the simple scriptures to back him up, Sam Shamoun, his anger, his hostility is really a cover for his doubt in his own doctrine, because it can't stand the test of Scripture. And this is why you have an angry Sam Shamoun. God bless you guys.